So good evening. I'll be working on how to make a welt. That's how to prepare a sew. So like this now is an old slippers. So what you do now is you get your either cardboard or a calendar sheet, then you place it and try to trace it. So after marking it out, you just you cut it round. You try so that your hand will be straight.
Yes.
Okay, so this one is a sew. This one is a sew that we are going to prepare. Now this is not foreign sew. This one we locally prepare it. So what you do now is this thing you've marked. I'm just making for one side of the leg. So this thing you mark, you trace it on your sew. You trace it on your sew, like draw it on your sew. Then you cut it out. Okay, so after marking out, please, when you're cutting, keep allowance. Keep allowance so that so after cutting it out, we will now work on this one is for this one is for this one. So we have to work on getting the inner one. So you make a little reduction round. I don't know, you can just pick two tiny lines from
Start.
So you just pick like two tiny lines from your tape, measuring tape. That's if you can't do it like this, but I believe with time you should. Don't continue.
Then go ahead. Then early morning 2 o'clock, I'm going out to buy market. So when I buy so when I buy finish, then
so this one we call it magic pen. This one is Marco 4 soft. This is a local Marco 4. So now this inner one now that we cut out, we're going to cut it on the Marco. So I've drawn it out. I'm cutting it now. So this one is called wet. This one is called wet. We also call it taping. We'll tape it round. So we're going to use this my constructed filer first to scrape, not the design part though, the other side of it, to scrape it so it can hold the gum well. Are you certain? So after scraping, you just apply your gum on it, please. Still going. So after applying gum on the wet, you also apply gum just at the edge of the sole. I didn't say everywhere, the edge, so that we'll put the taping. Then you allow it to dry. You're going to allow it to dry for a while, like let's say 15 minutes. Allow it to dry for 15 minutes. Place this one, we didn't apply gum. You place it here. Make sure you check if your placing is okay. After placing it and checking if it's correct, then you see this wet now. It has a curved side. Okay. So once it's dried, you place the Marco on it. You place it on it. Please watch the edges. Let them be equal. Then you see the wet. It has a curved area. This side is curved. So this side now, you take your scissors and cut it. Then, so you see this side that is curved. This curved side now fits. That's where you start your wet from. Just around here that I marked. Just down a bit. So you place it like this. You keep pressing it. Please, you press it so that it will be very, very hard. And make sure it's glued to the... It started. Okay, make sure it's glued to the marco. You keep pressing it. It is so thinking they teach that one. So when you get to this edge where the two meet, you cut out. See it very well. So I want you to look at it very well. There is no space. It's glued to the marco. See, no space, which is what you should do. So we'll now bring the marco out. Then this is what we'll get. After that, this place now we have to join them together. So now this one is glue. So you apply your glue. The name of the glue is AB Gold. It's very strong. You apply your glue, then you press it this way. Press it for a while. So this is it. Have you started? Yes. Okay, so your top heel should be above this our joining point here. So this is how to get a top heel. And see what I'm using as my top heel. You can still get better ones in the market, but this is what I'm using for now. It's a practical work. So we'll cut it out, then we'll go over to same mark here. I gave it inside also so that we'll know where to start and where to end here. So this is the filing machine, and I'll power it on now. I want to scrape here out. I'm smoothing here. So this filing machine now, this place is a rough side, while this side is the smooth side. So this side now is what we use to roughen it so that it can take gum. Then after that, we'll smoothen it in this side. So now what we'll do now is we'll file this side out so that the top heel can sit. Send down. Now this is what to do. So after the filing, see, I filed here. You started a bit. Filed here. So now we use gum to join them together. So we apply gum on this side, then also apply gum on the top heel.
You stay with me.
We also apply gum like this too.
I should like this.
Okay. So after applying, please let the gum not pass your mark. After applying the gum, we'll allow it to dry very well before we'll do the final filing on the sole. Please, and make sure you apply enough gum. Enough gum. We want to fix it now, then we use the glue first, so that to add to make it more strong, to make it stronger, we use the glue before we stick it. You press it to be very strong. After then you turn over this side too and heat. Remember, we've not heat this side. Heat very well. Don't heat this mess I'm doing here. Heat it it very hard. So that's fine. Always wear your nose mask because this dust that comes out is dangerous. We're going to start with the rough side to make it equal with the wet. We have to make it equal with the wet. So file it round. Almost finish this night. Well, you come to this side. Come to this other side. The smoothing side, so we have to smoothen it from here. It's not easy to use welt, but to use the filing machine. I believe you can all try it. If you don't have the filing machine, you also have the one for ready-made tools. Just to cut it out. Then that's it for the filing. And buy for this side. So you cut out. I should say all those things while I talk. So you cut out this ones to make it look good. Don't be scared if you don't have a filing machine. They are already made so that you can also prepare the insert. So what stays in here is the insert. We call it insert. So we also have a foreign sew that all you have to do is prepare the insert. So it's no big deal if you don't have a filing machine. You can move on with that without that. So this is it for preparing your local sew. Let's start. It's time to work on the insert now. We'll apply gum here. Remember, in every footwear you're doing, it has left and right leg. Please always remember to always get the left and right leg, so you don't go and have two left legs or two right legs. Please. You apply gum on your insert. Then also apply gum on your landing. We call this one fiance. It's very strong. Like you use it for long before it will even tear. I've not even seen it tear safe. So that's what we use. We can also use other leathers, but I'm teaching you guys with this one now because this is what I use often. So I allow it to dry. Once it's dry, we'll couple it. So since it's dry now, we can now place it on the leather. Then make sure you stretch the leather. You stretch it, then cut out, leaving excess to fold. When you cut out, you have excess for folding. Apply gum round the edge of the leather and on the marco. Then you drag it. Drag the leather to the marco. Please, why are we dragging it? To make the edge smooth before we fold it. Okay, so after dragging, you use your thumb to fold the edge. We all know how to fold edge now. We should. So you fold the edge. Make it very smooth, please. Anywhere that is not smooth, you go back to it. and adjust. Work on creating this hems design by using width 9, length 3.5. It's for a female design. If you want to get that of a man, let's say 4 sha. 4. Male design 4.5 for the length. So when you've gotten it, you rule. Remember now, you measure here, measure so that you join the lines. Even here, measure this way, measure this way, measure this way, so that you can get the line. Then we have to get the middle. Middle of 9 is 4.5. We have to get the middle so that we'll know what we're doing. Okay, let's say now this is 1. Let's say you take just two lines, 2 tiny lines from the inside. That's this side, one side, the other side too, 2 tiny lines to get the mark at the middle. Have you started? Then this side also, you measure out 1, or you can do it less than 1. Let's say you count the lines 7. Count 7 also. Then you rule. So we'll do the same thing on this side. Middle of 4 is 2. Middle of 4, 2. So we'll join them together. Then we'll also do the same, count out 2, 2, 2. At the middle, you still count out 2 tiny lines, 2 tiny lines. At the middle, 2 tiny lines, 2 tiny lines, just the same way we got this one. Then you rule. For this other side now, instead of maybe getting just 7 tiny lines, we'll get up to 2.5 from here. 2.5 from here also. Okay, so we'll rule, then cut out this inside place, cut this place, but before then we'll cut it out like this. All sides cannot be the same, so we have to slant it to make the upside. This will be the upside. To make the upside a little bit, to make it a little bit shorter than the lower part. So when I'm done, you understand what I mean. See, so this is what I mean. See, this is the upside now of the slipper. So if it's going to, we're going to use it, it's going to be like this, like this. So this side now will be at the top, this side will be at the down. So this is how to get the hems design of it. So we'll now continue with this. My own is slimmer, and also you can also curve here. You can curve it. The black leather. It's a very strong leather. It's not strong in texture, it's strong in quality. Not strong in texture, it's soft. It's actually soft in texture, but a little bit thick. So that's what we'll be using. That's what we'll be using for the binding, to bind it. But that's not the main leather we would use for. That's not the main leather we use for our work. This is to bind it. This will be at the back of the slippers. This is the main leather, but because this our pen is not visible, it's not that visible on this, that's why I'm using this to mark it out. So we apply gum on this one, then apply gum on this one, allow it to dry before we bind it. Apply gum on this and this. I've allowed it to dry. Now we are going to bind. This is what we call binding, joining two leathers together. By binding, use your mallet. This is a soft hammer, it's called mallet. Easy to hit it. Now, I'm not using the local gum, I'm using a foreign gum, joint fix, so that since I'm not going to sew this one, it's going to be very strong. This is going to be the outer part of the palms. Then this one the inner, so we'll have to cut it out now according to that line I measured. Very smooth. If your cutting is not smooth, you have to work on it. So this is what we are doing now to cut that. So you cut out every shape of it. After cutting it out, so this is now the front, this is the back. So at the edge, just the edge, you apply gum.
Yes. Following my picture.
Just at the edge, you apply gum. Then on this one, the wrapped marker, you apply gum also at the top side of it down. Then you allow it to dry. Then this one is called lace. We have it in different sizes. This is 41. I'm going to be using 41. I have it in 38, 37, 40, 39, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. I don't know if there's 47, but I know there's 46. So we'll place it like this. There's this mark I left here. There's a mark at the opening of the, see the way the foot is, the opening. So from that, the end of the opening, you just mark two tiny lines from this side. You also mark two tiny lines, which is this mark I gave. Then you curve it down, which is this mark I gave. The next thing you do is, since it's dried, you place it. Now, what you do next is you arrange it on the sole. Turn it over. Put your nail so that we will hold it. If it shakes, it won't be good for the footwear. Put your nail, then you hit it. So now this opening has to be on this place now that looks like the middle of our leg, like that hilly place at the top of our leg. So it has to be there, while the beginning of this place has to be on that mark I told us how to get. So once you've gotten it like this, the next thing to do is to fix it. Since it's not shaking, we should be able to get it. Then watch your gap here. It should be the same with what we did here. And always try to adjust the top very well so that it will lap and hold the person's leg. Once you're done with that, you hit it with hammer so that it will stick very well. Then you pull out your nail, pull it out, and that's it for this leg. So So the next thing we'll do now is to apply gum everywhere inside the place where the insect will be. Apply. Then you see how this one is arranged here. For the other leg, once you're done with one leg, you use this leg now to get it. Let me say, for example, like this now. Let me say this one is the other leg. Then you place it like this. You mark out where this one ended. You mark here where this one ended. Mark here, so that the both legs will stay at the same place. Be up while one side will be down. So what we'll do now is to apply gum inside and inside, allow to dry, then we'll gum it. There's something I did not explain to us. Why cutting the outer sole, that's this one here, on the inside of it, you use that hand filer to scrape it so that you can take gum. Use the hand filer to scrape it so that you can catch the gum very well. If you don't scrape it, it won't catch the gum. The tip is always, as in the front, is always very slippery. So you make it rough by scraping it. So we started them.
Did you come with the wrap?
So I want to couple it now. To apply that same glue again to add more strength to the gum. Then you start from the back. Fix it. Carefully fix it. You carefully fix it around. Remember, because of the glue, you just keep adjusting the sides and they will fall in place. They will stick. So after this, we'll have to heat it now with the Monday hammer again.